It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quanell X and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
The $17 million investment for these 18 black and brown small businesses is really it really captures what I call the soul of Chicago. It's who we are.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So Mayor Brandon Johnson, the socialist defund the police activist mayor who was recently elected last year, has announced a program to steward about $17 million worth of taxpayer monies there in Chicago to feed for free the illegal entrants, the asylees, the refugees that are there in the city. Not for the citizens, not for Chicago's poor. But what's making the rounds on social media, Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called now, is the decision to, which has become very much the norm in America now, to exclude all white people and all Asian people and just have this program for people of color in the black communities and the Latino communities. Now, it's antagonistic towards the Constitution. It's clear discrimination. And the question I have for you, Quanell, like at what point do we really seek to build an America that's not excluding anyone or pushing anyone to the back of the line because of the color of their skin or their complexion? This is just more nonsense. And also, Quanell, and because you're one of those no one's illegal on stolen land, we need open borders, bullcrap artists. I don't know how you we have a lot of Democrats, traditional Democrats. We have a lot of people in Chicago. We have a lot of people in New York that are frustrated that illegal entrants are given free hotels, free food, free education, free health care, free everything. And the struggling poor that we have done so little for, people of all colors, just giving them a little drip, just giving them a little taste, just enough to shut them up, are sitting there looking at, like, what happened to us? I think the whole thing's repugnant.
Charles, I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm very angry with this mayor. I'm upset with him.
Because he let some Latino people get money too?
I'm very angry and upset with him, Matt Johnson, because $17 million is not enough. Bottom line is, he did the right thing. That's the way it should have been done. Because those illegal aliens shipped up there by southern governors like Greg Abbott in Texas sent those illegal aliens to places like Chicago, and Chicago took those illegal aliens and put them in the black and brown communities, mainly the black community. So if you're going to pay somebody to feed the illegal aliens that were sent there by white southern governors to be impregnated into black and brown neighborhoods, well then why wouldn't you pay black and brown companies to feed them folks illegal aliens in black and brown neighborhoods? White folk didn't get none of those illegal aliens shipped to their neighborhoods. So why would white people in Chicago have a problem with that when no bus, not one bus load of illegal immigrants was sent to a suburban, affluent white neighborhood, so they ain't gotta feed them? If they were sent to the black and brown community, well then give black and brown businesses the money to feed those illegal aliens. And guess what you said, the back of the line. Let me tell you something, when it comes to contracts, city contracts, state contracts, government contracts, for generations, black folk have been put at the back of the line. And the Constitution was irrelevant and immaterial about giving us equal access and equal justice financially to government contracts, city or state contracts. So guess what? I ain't got no problem with it. He should have gave us more than that. Next time, man, give us about another 50 million, 70 million.
You know what?
And don't get none of them white folk. Them white folk been feeding off the hog for a long time. Let them share the wealth now.
This is what I love the most. First of all, that $17 million should be going for the poor citizens, almost exclusively black and brown, to feed their families, to help them, right? I've always been I've always had...
If you're employing black businesses, you are feeding black families. In fact, if you're getting money black businesses, you hiring black people and feeding black families.
Just a handful where it should be far more widespread.
But it ain't got to be a handful.
I know you don't want me to talk.
Let that next contract be 50 million.
I know you cry every time I interrupt you.
Right. I'm sorry,
but all you do is interrupt.
Forgive me. I'm doing my
because
best
what you want to do is go on your
sorry.
racist tirades and then talk. The truth is that just because some white people share a complexion with Governor Abbott doesn't mean white people in Illinois should be excluded from government process. When you talk about no white neighborhoods, Abbott sent people to Martha's Vineyard. It is actually every example of a person stepping up and bringing immigrants immigrants into their home, which they're calling for in Massachusetts. Everyone I've seen, white people, right?
Liberal white people.
Okay, so
who at the end of the day,
so you don't think Chicago white businesses are liberals? You don't think Chicago white
them black businesses.
Oh, okay. So white people,
black businesses gonna make us some money on this one, baby.
That are opening their home up to immigrants, right? They benefit from it.
No, because
somehow.
it was their plan.
Okay, it was the white people's plan.
It was white liberals' plan to flood America with illegal immigrants. It was white liberals' plan, and it was conservative whites and liberal whites. Business owners who wanted that cheap labor to make sure they got here. So stop pretending like they didn't want it to come. They wanted it to come for cheap labor.
You want to reduce everything to complexion.
Not really.
But only when it benefits you individually, right? And it's okay to condemn white people holistically, but if a white person condemns black people holistically, they're appropriately called a racist.
Charles.
But you're racist.
With affirmative action, they always denied us access. Why do you think we need affirmative action for state, city, and government contracts? Because they want white folks wouldn't shadow wealth.
Since the late 60s.
They wouldn't shadow wealth.
Right? Okay. So at what point?
And it still didn't help black people.
At what point? Oh, there is more opportunity for
action did not help black
Americans than anyone else in this country right now. There is more
action did not help black
opportunity
people
from the government to people of color that actually want to do work than anyone else. In fact, white people and Asian people are excluded from elite colleges.
The least benefactors financially of affirmative action contracts with state and city governments are not black people.
Okay, so here
white women get more contracts than black companies with affirmative action.
Excluded, white people excluded, but you're still selling the same lie you've been selling for decades. No,
we love the Asian community.
Oh, you do.
You know why?
Except when you're applying to colleges. Except when they're applying to colleges.
Black folks don't control them colleges. White people do.
Oh, really?
So don't blame us.
Really? So
we love the Asians. You know why? You know why? There's a you buy, we fry on every corner of the black community.
Okay.
There's a you buy, we fry on every corner of the black community. In fact, look at Chimichan's in Texas. We buy more weed than some Chinese than they ever sell us.
The truth is, diversity,
show me one black business open in Chinatown. Show me one black business in Chinatown. But I can show you multiple Chinese businesses in the black community.
Diversity exclusion. That's all it is. You want to create a new world where you call it diversity, and it's not diverse at all.
No,
it just excludes white people.
It's called you
completely.
reap what you sow.
What did I reap? What did a white child?
You.
Oh, yes, you do.
I mean white people.
Oh, okay, but I'm a white person.
So then you're part of the family. Then.
So white. Well, I'm only responsible for my own individual. So are you responsible for anything every black person does?
No.
Are you responsible for the
but
tidal
I have
wave
a
of crime out of the black
responsibility to
community?
speak about it.
Oh.
Good or bad.
Okay, but you don't.
Good or bad. Yes, I do.
You make excuses. You decry
Man, can we get some more money?
And you decry
Mr.
racism.
Matt, can we get more than 17 million? I love you, brother.
Utilize both male and female names, but through all of our investigation to this point, talking with individuals, interviews, documents, Houston Police Department reports, she has been identified this entire time as female.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, what the hell was that we just watched?
Well, that was a Houston police detective talking about the pronouns of the monstrous Lakewood shooter.
Officer Glazed Donuts?
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, it looked like that they had hired Chaz Bono or something like that. I was confused what the hell what we were watching.
I thought it was a
transgender damn clip, but I thought it was a comedy clip. Who in the hell cares about what sex organ she decided to recognize with on certain days? That's irrelevant to me. I don't care nothing about that. She went into a church where people were worshiping God and shot innocent people and put a little baby's life in danger.
Her own kid.
Her own child, where that child was shot because of her or his misconduct. I wouldn't give a damn about what term she used today, and she was a man this day and a female this day. Who cares? She's a murderer. Identify her as a cold-blooded psycho, identify her as a mass shooter, and applaud those who took that life out of her to make sure she didn't kill others. This foolishness that Chaz Bono was talking, I'm sorry, Officer Donuts, well, what the hell was his name? I'm sorry.
First of all, It seemed like you were having some donuts come up there in a second. I mean, look, this guy's a public servant. I don't think it's appropriate to talk ill about him. He is a spokesperson, so he was probably told to address this gender identity issue. And of course, we've been telling America for years that to identify someone wrong with the inappropriate pronoun is somehow violence. So, in Canada, you saw a 90-year-old volunteer who didn't know what pronouns were get thrown out and get denied volunteering at the MS Society anymore because she got it wrong. That stuff has just gone absolutely haywire. But I want to tell you why I think we're talking about this, why I think the HPD is focusing on this person's pronouns. It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all subterfuge. Just like the horrible mass shooting at the Chiefs celebration after their victory. All of a sudden, we didn't hear anything. CNN originally tried to suggest that it was a white American, a Trump supporter, I believe. And then when they found out with the racial identity of the culprits, it vanished, right? Here, instead of talking about the fact that she had been making virulent anti-Semitic statements for weeks on end, instead of talking about the fact that the husband or the father of her child and his family members, who are Jewish, were making incredible efforts to get mental health treatments for this woman after she had threatened violence for an extended period.
The father of a child.
The father of the child had reported her to the government, as did the rabbi mother, her mother.
The rabbi mother.
The grandmother of the child, the father's mother.
And
was
she
the
got
rabbi.
a Free Palestine emblem on her gun.
She was actually making threatening social media comments about, because we've fed this lie. We fed this lie that just like we feed the lie that misgendering someone is somehow violence, that words are violence. We fed this lie that our social media has, that Jewish people are evil, that October 7th was deserved, that they brought it on themselves. I mean, you participated in that with your disgusting arguments. But at the end of the day, this is a crazy woman, right, that the government failed to act on to protect people. This is a woman that was emboldened by this tidal wave of anti-Semitism in this country that you and so many people either expressly approve or tacitly approve. So instead of talking all that,
I disagree
what
with
are
that.
we talking about?
But
we're talking about pronouns.
No, we're talking about Officer
Who
Big
gives
Burger.
a damn?
We're talking about Officer Big Burger
Well, you're
using
talking about
pronouns and
I
using
will tell you,
adjectives and using letters.
One thing, Quadell.
What, man?
I gotta admit.
Man, let me tell you something. I guarantee you, he was not there when they shooting at Lakewood.
Can I just
because I can look at him and tell he wasn't there at Lakewood when they shooting. He was across the street eating them white folks chicken strips at Chick-fil-A. You know that's right across the street. Look at this man, man. They should tell him to go sit down some damn where and go. Please stop. This is madness. Political correctness going crazy.
I'm just going to admit.
Political correctness going crazy.
I'm just going to admit that you're correct. He does bear a resemblance to Chaz Bono, but Chaz Bono is, you know, they got the same body type and haircut, I think, beyond that. But I need to, now you got me on another topic. Why the hell my chicken strips and my chicken nuggies and my wonderful, wonderful Chick-fil-A sauce, why that got to be for white folk?
Because
if you go to Chick-fil-A down the street on Kerber that I go to all the time, it's filled with black folk, and they love Chick-fil-A.
Excuse me, we respect Chick-fil-A.
No, you don't.
We like Chick-fil-A.
You're talking about
but
all
the
this.
Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Who's we?
Black people. The Chick-fil-A sandwich cannot touch Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Man, come on.
The Chick-fil-A sandwich cannot touch Popeye's chicken sandwich.
Crap.
No, that's them white folks taste bugs you got with all that mayonnaise, with all that damn mayonnaise on your sandwich.
First of all, I hate mayonnaise.
Go get you a Popeye's chicken sandwich.
First of all, this napkin American hates mayonnaise. I'm going to tell you right now.
Who cares?
But
who cares what she identified as?
Let me say, I don't care
She's a
either.
cold-blooded psycho.
But more importantly, Popeye's spicy chicken sandwich is literally a regular chicken sandwich with an aioli spicy spread on top of it.
That's because, see, white folks don't put no seasoning on
Hold
food.
on.
Y'all
Chick-fil-A,
don't eat no
that's
seasoning.
Popeyes. Chick-fil-A, they got the season in the batter.
Dry as hell.
You know,
just dry.
Why are you talking about Chick-fil-A?
It's
It
dry.
ain't dry. Man,
No
you can
sauce
take a
in the
Chick-fil-A,
toss.
you can throw that in a bag, in a bag for 6 hours.
With them
pull it out.
Eurocentric taste
it's
bugs.
Still good.
Yes.
You gotta hold the pickles up.
But
The pickles get a little
ask
soggy.
any brown brother in the hood, a black brother in the hood, that Popeye's chicken sandwich is cold-blooded.
Man, I love Popeyes. Their spicy chicken, like chicken, real chicken, it's baked in.
You don't eat nothing but Kentucky. Stop.
Man, come on. Who eats Kentucky?
You don't eat nothing
Fried
but Kentucky.
Kentucky
Stop.
Fried Chicken is trash.
Colonel Sanders,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
eat
hey,
Kentucky
man,
Fried
the
Chicken.
thing is, you
Colonel
live in your big
Sanders,
mansion.
you eat Kentucky
you
Fried
don't know
Chicken.
nothing about Popeyes. You don't know
You
nothing
eat
about
Kentucky Fried Chicken, Colonel
Hey,
Sanders.
Who lives in a diverse community in the heart of this city, and who lives up in some white-ass neighborhood?
I live in a very diverse
Yeah,
community. Extremely diverse.
They don't even have Popeyes in your neighborhood. You got to drive 20 miles to get a Popeyes. I got a Popeyes. I got a Chick-fil-A.
You must ain't come to my
I got it
neighborhood.
all down the street
You
from
must
me.
ain't come to my neighborhood.
Man, I know. Look,
I look out over the water,
when was the last time you had a
and I can
biscuit?
see Popeyes.
Well, yeah, over the water.
I look out over the water.
First off,
I can
this
see
guy's
Popeyes.
doing his job. The pronouns are stupid. It's a cover-up to cover up the Palestinian connection, the anti-Semitism
How can you
connection.
leave the Palestinians
and all
out of
that.
this?
Hey,
The Palestinians ain't got nothing to do with this. This woman was a Jew.
It is the.
She was
not Jewish.
She had Jewish heritage.
She was actually an illegal immigrant.
She had Jewish heritage.
She had a Jewish husband.
Grandmama was
She
a
was
rabbi.
an illegal immigrant from El Salvador who committed a bunch of crimes and never got her ass deported. Nobody wants to talk about that.
See, now you want to make a legal immigrant.
I didn't make.
Travis, go body Coach Reed. Attack. This guy is sawing Coach Reed. He attacked Coach Reed. And Andy Reid said, well, he caught me off balance. Travis Kelce said, I was just telling him I love him. And Andy Reid said, they're emotional, man. This is just how we are. Obviously, Andy, Pat, and Travis have been very tight for a long time. Did any of us like seeing Travis Kelce get in the face and body Andy Reid? No. Do we think that he was assaulting his head coach? No. But is there a sentiment in there like, look how passionate this dude is. This guy's made 100 million. He's on top of the world. Hall of Famer. People call him the greatest tight end of all time. And here he is in the middle game going, hey, give me the damn ball, dude. I am sick of it. You love that if you're a Chiefs fan. Everybody that hates Travis Kelce is going to say, Scott.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
Now, Quanell, you've been chirping in my ear all week about Travis Kelce getting all up on Andy Reid's face. In fact, it was after a turnover when he wasn't on the field, and he was mad because he didn't think it would have happened if he was out there. And you have been highly critical, and I assume you still are highly critical of Travis Kelce, and I think it's all bupkis. I think if Travis Kelce wasn't a white guy, you wouldn't have given a damn. I think your take would have been the opposite. Your son, arguably, I think noted as one of the two best all-around football players in the state as a junior of all ages. You know what competition is. Your older son played D1 ball, right? SEC D1 ball, I think. And you know how hard and passionate people are. We got Travis Kelce out there. He's got Taylor Swift up in the stands, one of the richest women in the world. He's trying to not just smash, he's trying to marry, right? That's my assumption. He don't want to lose this game. He wants another ring. He wants to be Gronk. And damn it, if he wasn't a white guy, you wouldn't be mad about it. But explain to me why he's a bad guy and he beat up his coach and he needs to get fired or whatever the hell you've been saying all week.
Charles, let me say this. From youth sports, intermediate, middle school, high school, college, etc., you're always taught as a football player, as an athlete, period, you never disrespect your coaches. You never, ever attempt to show your coach up on the sideline.
On what planet?
And we're always taught that you never try to show your coach up on the sideline, embarrass your coach in front of everybody. You don't do that. And you damn sure don't get in his face and start screaming at him and bump into him. My problem with this is, had that been Nicole Hardeman, had that been Valdell Scanlon, had that been McKinnon, would the narrative be the same? I don't think so. Had a black receiver did what Travis Kelce did, there'd be a whole different discussion. There'd be white folks in this country calling for assault charges to be filed. Remember what our young man Antonio Brown did, who has some mental health challenges, in my opinion.
Yeah, CTE, clearly.
He took off his jersey on the sideline and was kicked out of the NFL. This man bumps his head coach, an elderly man, gets in his face talking crazy to him, and nothing happens. He's applauded as being passionate. If Terrell Owens had did that, they call him team obliterator. But guess what? Had he did something like that, he would have had no place for him in the league. Why is it there's a double standard for black athletes' behavior on the sideline compared to Mr. White, Travis Kelce?
So would you have a problem with it if a black athlete did it?
Yes, I would.
Okay, that's
because
the,
black
that's
parents,
the crux of the
no,
lie.
Find any
Your
black father
position,
or black parent of a black athlete, they teach their children, you better not ever do nothing like that.
So all black athletes.
I have never met one black parent that told their child to act like that with a coach on the sideline.
You've
no,
never
because we know better. We know better.
Of the videos of students being aggressive and horrible to referees, to coaches. You've never seen any Latrell,
and they are punished.
So Latrell Sprewell.
And they are punished.
Latrell Sprewell.
And what happened to him?
He must have had white parents.
And what happened to him?
Okay, well he
got kicked out.
He actually choked.
He got suspended and kicked out.
Well, it was a practice.
What Travis Kelce did was in front of the whole world.
I don't care if it was
the whole world saw that.
I don't care.
And he was applauded for it. He was not condemned to punish.
What color, what race. I would have seen that as this is someone that gives a damn about winning. This is a soldier that as a leader, like Andy Reid is, and I'm not a fan of Andy Reid. His son being a drunk driver, still working for him and going and hitting and putting that kid in a coma, I think Andy Reid should have been fired right away. It shouldn't be about winning.
So you're going to punish him for his son's actions?
Well, he's the one that brought him in and to give him a job.
But still, because the father gives his son a job,
well, he'd already
we should
had
now punish the father if the child makes a mistake with nothing to do with the job whatsoever?
No, he was leaving the job. If he had access to alcohol.
But guess what, though? He left the job and went to a bar, got drunk, and went kill a kid.
It's like LSU coach Ed Ogeron. I love LSU. I went to LSU, but when I found out they had just won the national championship, when I found out there was all those issues with suppressing sexual assault claims by female student athletes for the Protect the Football program, I was the first one. I said it publicly.
They protect the football program for what reason? Because it's the largest money maker on campus.
So I'm saying this. I'm not a fan of Andy Reid. I'm not a fan of the Chiefs. I think Travis Kelce is really irritating, but he was just an athlete, wanted to get his ass back on the field after a turnover, wanting to win the Super Bowl.
So you throw a temper tantrum on the sideline.
He didn't throw a temper. So he put me back in the damn game.
And bump your coach.
And I don't care.
An old man with 3 hip replacements who can barely stand up, who damn near was knocked over. Okay. But yet you're going to tell me that kind of behavior is to be celebrated and applauded? But if a black man do anything close to that, he's a thug on the sideline.
I wouldn't call him a thug. I would have supported it.
He's a distraction on the sideline.
I would have supported it.
He disrupts the locker room when they're going to. Oh, no, stop,
First off, if Andy Reid if Andy Reid has actually had 3 hip replacements, it's only because he's a fat ass and not because people are bumping him.
Look like he had about 4 or 5.
But,
the way he moves.
Well, see, you're just making it up. But at the end of the day, you're only pissed off at Travis Kelce. I don't expect you to admit it to our audience.
I'm pissed off at the double standard.
You're only pissed off at Travis.
Off at the double standard.
You're only pissed off because he's a white dude.
Black athletes are held to a higher standard than Mr. Kelce and other white athletes.
If it was a black athlete, you would have been celebrated.
So let me ask you a question.
And your position is always predicated based on race.
Who came out and condemned that and said had it been them, it would have been different. Michael Parsons said it. He was one of the ones who said it.
Here's the thing.
Are they racist?
I would have had, me personally, I can only
Terrell Owens said it. Chad Ochocinco said it. Shannon Sharp said it. Are they racist?
I can only speak for me, right? I can only speak to how I would have reacted, and I would have reacted the same no matter what the race the athlete was. But I can also speak because I know you, right? And your position is always defined. But if it would have been a black athlete, you would be calling him Brother Kelce. If Travis Kelce, you'd be like, Brother Kelce was just hyped up. And in fact, that white demon Andy Reid, that white devil Andy Reid brought it out on him.
I'd have been saying, call the CTE doctors, get that man some help. Because what that man did, Travis Kelce,
you know what?
Should have been kicked out the league.
Man did,
he should have left that game and not came back.
I lost money on that game. What he did was he won that damn game, and I'm still pissed off about it because you know what? I wanted to see the 49ers win.
A double standard is what I got a problem with.
It ain't a double standard. The only double standard is you.
Ladies and gentlemen, black athletes, ask them across the country if you can speak to one, or even on social media. Ask any football player, could they have done the same thing Mr. Kelce did, and the response and the treatment have been the same? It would have been a difference night and day, in my opinion. Athletes have always been taught, no matter what your color is, you don't show your coaching staff up on the sideline, and you definitely don't get in their face and start screaming at them. That's a no-no. But I also want to speak about our dear friend, blessed Chicago Mayor
Brandon Johnson.
Such a beautiful gentleman. We love you, brother. You got some more money you want to give black folk? keep giving it. In fact, can you see if you can get us a couple of $100 million more? White folk have had all the money they need in Chicago. They don't need no more money right now. They've been living high on the hog for generations, not giving access to people of color for city contracts and city funding. So spread that money around. Give it to the black and brown folks. In fact, Chicago really, now today, really is a black and brown city. So you're only taking care of your own. It's the right thing to do.
Well, I guess Quanell wasn't going to wait for the bell. The truth is that Brandon Johnson is a proponent of policies of exclusion, right? And it's not about fixing anything. It's not about diversity, equity, inclusion. It's about the new exclusion and new bigotry in America. I personally find all bigotry to be profane. But my real problem isn't the 17 million that excludes all white and Asian applicants. My real problem is that 17 million isn't going to citizens, the poor of the city of Chicago, who have been struggling. They've been overwhelmed by violence. They've been overwhelmed by so much and have been abandoned by their government. And it's just this woke nonsense, right? And we're seeing it not just in Chicago, but we're seeing it everywhere in this country where we don't. And the Republicans, as much or more to blame than the Democrats, because the Republicans will bitch about it. But then they don't want social programs. They don't want better education. They don't want free vocational training or free professional training. They just want to piss and moan about how all this money's going to the immigrants, and especially the illegal ones. We need programs. We need race-blind programs that help all Americans. You talk about Travis Kelce. The truth is that if you ever want to wonder what position Quanell will have on anything, just look at the race of the people involved.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.